Okay, we are going to practice solving systems of linear equations using the substitution method. So here we have y equals 2x plus 5 and y equals 3x minus 1 to make up our system. Now, for the substitution method, we need to solve one of the equations for x so that it can be substituted into the other equation. Okay, they are both in slope-intercept form. We need to solve one of them for the x variable. I'm going to take the second equation, y equals 3x plus 1. I could take either one. I just chose to use this one, and I'm going to solve for x. So I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to move the negative 1 over to the other side by adding 1 to both sides. These cancel out, and it becomes 3x equals y plus 1. Now I have a 3 that is being multiplied by that x. I'm going to undo that by doing the inverse operation, which is division. I'm going to divide each term by 3, and I'm left with x equals 1/3 y plus 1/3. Okay, now I can take that equation and substitute it back into the first problem. Okay, I rewrote the first equation, y equals 2x plus 5, and now I'm going to rewrite it substituting in this equation that we got for x. So y equals 2 times 1/3 y, I believe it's, positive 1/3 plus 5. Okay, now because the 2 is hugging the parentheses, that tells me that I need to distribute to both of these. And 2 times 1/3 is 2/3 y plus 2 times 1/3, which is also 2/3 plus 5. Okay, now I have two like terms here. These two I want to combine. So I'm going to do 2/3 plus 5 with a common denominator. The 5 becomes 15/3, and I am left with 17/3 when I add them together. So now I'm going to rewrite it over here. Y equals 2/3 y plus 17/3. And for sake of room, I move down to another slide. All right, so now I need to move this y term to the other side. So I'm going to subtract it. Oops, wrong color. I'm going to subtract it here. They cancel out, and subtract it here. Okay, so now I'm performing 1 minus 2/3. And when I find a common denominator, the 1 actually becomes 3/3. And I'm left with 1/3. Okay, so on this side, I am left with 1/3 y equals 17/3. And I still do not have y by itself. So I'm going to do the opposite of the operation happening on the left-hand side, which is multiplication. So I'm going to do division. I'm going to divide 1/3. And I know that when I divide by a fraction, I'm actually multiplying by the reciprocal. So on this side, I'm going to multiply by 3/1. And 17 times 3 is 51/3. And 3 goes into 51 17 times. So y equals 17. And now I'm going to plug in the y into one of the original equations. Either one, doesn't matter. I'm just going to choose the first one. So the equation is y equals 2x plus 5. And I'm going to plug in 17, 2x plus 5, and then I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. And I get 12 equals 2x. Divide that out. And x equals 6. Therefore, my solution is 6/17. And I can plug that back into both equations to check my answer. And I'm going to go ahead and do that just to be sure. So I've got 6/17. 17 equals 2 times 6 plus 5. And 17 equals 17, so that is correct. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but with the other equation. So 17 equals 3 times 6 minus 1. And 17 equals 17, so that is correct as well. So this tells me that my solution of 6/17 is in fact correct.